EV Comply, simplifying your charge point installations.
Hey, it's Friday the 21st of May, so another podcast brought to you directly from EV Comply. So another week and another podcast, but this is the 26th episode. We cannot believe it, which means it's taken me 26 weeks to get EV Comply CEO Stephen Smith to actually come and have a chat with us on our own podcast.
Hey Chelsea, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm
good.
Afternoon. How are your arms since I've had to twist both of them to get you on here?
Yeah, not too bad actually. No, it's a pleasure to come on. Obviously, I've been reluctant, as you know, to come on
Yes.
this, but the idea of the podcast was not to promote EV Comply, it was to promote the sector as a whole and the industry and all the fantastic things that are happening, and whether it be the businesses or the technology. So yeah, that's why took you 26 weeks to get me on. I'd like to take an opportunity to thank some of those people who've come on, because they've all really added something to the podcast, and I know you said they were great to interview as well. But, you know, Sam Clark of GridServe, fantastic. Luke Osborne from the Electrical Contractors Association, Mike Lanigan from Moixer, Daniel Taylor from Universal Skills, great bloke. Paul Kirby at Vanarama, Trevor Palmer from EV Blocks, a fantastic business that EV Blocks, and Darren Walton from Mercedes-Benz. And I know you've got a few more lined up to appear on, so all of those have contributed, you know, sharing the knowledge and being the willingness to share what they know about the sector and what they're doing. I think that was invaluable, really, and it really helps people.
It absolutely does, and that's what this is about, you know, just that short 5 minutes, the roundup basically of what's going on, because it's a fast moving sector, isn't it?
Yeah, you can say that again. Yeah, it's great. Every week, this is why it's so exciting. It's such an exciting space to be in. You know, I feel very blessed we're working in this, and, you know, like I said, there's a lot of great people and great businesses as well, so yeah, onwards and upwards, I think.
So obviously the listeners know that it's the EV Comply podcast, but I suppose the first question is, what is EV Comply?
Recently, EV Comply was described to me actually as a business in a box, which I thought was a really good analogy actually. Users can take EV Comply and they can be up and running very, very quickly. They can introduce then to their business structure from initial customer engagement right through to surveys, quotation, job management, installations, grant applications and D&O applications. Users can really focus on key things like customer service, providing good quality installations, compliance installations, and I think that's where it really adds some value. And obviously, you know, from my own experience installing charge points, I understand the margins involved, you know, so we wanted to price it accordingly and make sure that everyone could use EV Comply and it can add value across the whole sector, whether you're a sole trader, you know, small to medium sized company or a larger installer. So the way we've priced it is very unique as well. We've got what we call a flexible plan, so users can, like I said, minimal capital outlay, they're up and running on the system and they literally pay as they go. £20 for a completed job. You can do as many surveys, as many customer inquiries. They only pay for completed jobs, which I think really adds value, especially if you're new to the sector or you're a smaller company, you don't know how many jobs you're doing, and you can pay as you grow, really. That works. And then as we get to the bigger entities doing the bigger numbers, then we offer volume-based discount, which again works really well. So I think the way we've priced it is unique, and I think that's really where it's adding some value too. I've been an installer, you know, I'm a qualified electrician myself, not been on the tools for a while, but my last stint on the tools was as an EV installer. You know, we became registered installer so we could install charge points. The sole purpose of that process was to make sure we built the best app. It's one thing you're designing something, but having no real world experience, and I think that's where myself and the team add real value. I've got site experience, and while I was on site installing charge points, working out what do installers need, what do I need while I'm at site, what do I need, what's going to help me do this installation. Our experience installing is reflected in the app. I think that's evident, really, and all our users give great feedback, certainly on, you know, on the mobile app as well as the web portal too.
I mean, I understand myself, obviously, that there is a lot of administration and compliance involved. You know, you've got the programming, the processing, the documenting, and then of course you've got the installation on both the domestic and commercial levels.
Really, the administration side of the install is an absolute necessity, but it's very time consuming. So what we've essentially done is automate that process to simplify it.
I think also with the pandemic, you know, a lot of people have been looking at that work-life balance. What the app definitely ensures is that when you get home, you're not continuing work, because you can do it as you go with the app, can't you? So the paperwork and everything, like you say, where you'd normally get in and think, oh, I've got another 2 hours now, to try and collate everything. The app does it for you.
That's correct, yeah. The idea is by the time you've left site, your administration is done. You answer questions on the mobile app, take your pictures, signatures, you can even take video, pre and post install stages. So really useful tool.
Everyone wants to know about the grants and the applications, but that's something also that the app offers, isn't it? Support with all those grant applications.
Yeah, of course. That's one of a key feature really. We've got many key features and functionality. Certainly one of them is assistance with the OZEP. But it's not just the app that provides that. My team as well provide the physical support as well, the one-to-one support for our users. Credit to my team because they work hard every day. They're talking to installers, helping installers, whether it's educating them how to use the system, but also how to understand the OZEP process or the installation process and how to document it and provide that kind of support as well. And again, I've got to thank my team for that because they put a lot of effort in.
I know firsthand how amazing your in-house development team are and just how hard they're all working on enhancing the EV Comply, and they just really are trying to make the most powerful solution in the sector, and they've been working as well all through COVID. Credit to them.
Yeah, so we've got some new functionality coming out which we've designed and developed which doesn't exist in any sector, not just the EV, and we're trying to think of new ideas all the time, but always how to add value.
Now, EV Comply is obviously moving forward at a rapid rate. I mean, I think that's just fact. There are so many updates, enhancements, you've got your releases that happen pretty much on a weekly basis, I think, which is just phenomenal. It really is a credit to you and the whole team for that. But roughly how many updates have been released, do you reckon, in just the last couple of months?
I think we've done about a dozen updates, at least a dozen updates of functionality and features to the system. So we're developing at a phenomenal rate and, listening to our users. We're already on good foundations anyway. Now it's about enhancing the product, its services, its capabilities. So whether you're a small, medium, large installation company or a charge point manufacturer, we've got you covered.
Speaking of new releases, actually, I must mention to the listener, because Stephen said off mic earlier that you're working on the new feature. Am I right to say this? I'm sorry. I'm not giving away an exclusive. And basically, it's mind-blowing, this one. So this feature is basically where EV Comply users can create, then track and trace their own lead generation channels. So you were saying, wasn't it, through their own unique source link. So basically, they can kind of distribute and create themselves directly on the system, which in this game, I've spoke to a lot of people, is so useful and beneficial, and it's all automated too, right?
It's about helping installers manage an entire customer on different channels. So if you've got lead generation channels, the system will identify where you put them links, and they're unique to your business. So as an installer, I can place my lead links anywhere, whether it be with a dealership or a manufacturer or etc., or on my Facebook, my Twitter, my Instagram. The system will identify where them sources come from, so you can track your campaigns. Other features, auto allocation, but certainly for the larger users, we've got the bigger clients coming on board where you can auto allocate work via geo postcodes, and we're doing a lot of automation with EV Comply as we scale the product, you see, which is really good. And we're listening to obviously all our users' feedback, whether it is John Smith on the tools or whether it's the larger companies. We're just adding to the products all the time. So yeah, as it grows out, we're bringing out some really cool functionality, Chelsea, to be honest, over the next few weeks and months. So it's exciting times.
It really is exciting times, honestly, and I think it goes without saying both of us are incredibly chuffed to be in this sector.
Yes, couldn't agree more, Chelsea, and thanks for having me today. I'm breaking both my arms to get me here. I won't be doing any swimming anytime soon.
No, I don't think you will.
Yeah, but thanks as well. Just want to say thank you to you two, because I know you put a lot of effort into the podcast every week, so do appreciate it, and yeah, thanks very much.
So we're getting there in time together.
Look forward to more podcasts, and definitely look forward to some of the interviewees you've got lined up too.
Yeah, absolutely. Me too. Some real cool people lined up to feature on the podcast over the next few weeks. So Stephen Smith, CEO of EV Comply, thank you for finally joining me on our podcast. Remember, you can listen back to this podcast and all previous ones via our website, and you can also check out any information if anything that was said today is of interest at ev-comply.com. From everybody here at EV Comply, have a top weekend.